Welcome to the hottest political show in America, Left vs. Right. I'm John Alite.
I'm Tony V.
And we're to talk about Trump versus Kimmel, government versus comedy. And I got to tell you, I'm all for comedy, but women should be off limits. You don't like the President Kimmel, then keep it to him and his politics and your politics. Don't have a little class. Don't attack a woman, especially the First Lady, who's a beautiful human being. And women should be off limits. Nobody would like you talking about your wife or your daughter or your mom.
So let me get this straight. I'm all for comedy, but I'm all for the First Amendment and the unabridged freedom of speech enshrined in the Constitution, but don't pick on the women. If we carve out an exception for anybody whose feelings might get hurt by stand-up comedy, there is no more stand-up comedy. Wait, I'm not done, okay? Let me tell you, what Jimmy Kimmel said, that Melania Trump is basking in the glow of being an expectant widow that made your underwear twist up in your pants, big deal, man, big deal. You know, it's not that he wished her dead. The man is almost 80 years. He's pushing 80 years old. His diet, he exists on Big Mac cheeseburgers and Pepsi. The man is not long for the world, even if, you know, somebody doesn't assassinate him first. But the point is this, man. Comedy is protected speech. I could say, I think puppies should be drowned in a bathtub. I could say, Jesus is a piece of shit. I could say, George Washington was a slave-owning dirtbag and not the founder of the country. I can say all that, and you know why? It's my right as an American. Now, what I will say is you have a right to say whatever you want in public, but you also are subject to the consequences for what you say, okay? But those consequences come from your fellow Americans. They don't come from a government, for the party of small government to say, the FCC should shut down the Kimmel Show is completely un-American.
Well, here's what I say. I agree with you. There's freedom of speech. But Kimmel doesn't say it in a comedian way. He says it in a hopeful way and nasty. Now, I think Jimmy Kimmel can't bang his wife without saying Trump's name. He can't get it up. So he's got to say President Trump's name no matter what he does. And I guarantee you, if I look at the creature he's married to, she couldn't touch the toe of Melania Trump, who's one of the most beautiful, classy women around, in my opinion. So I think he's mad about it, and he's obsessed with Trump. He has a syndrome. And I'm telling you, when he goes to bed, he probably puts a mask on a Trump and pretends he's him, man, before he can get his wife.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something.
Of the weak-minded.
If you don't like him, it's your right to change the channel. And if you're so worried about Melania Trump's feelings, she's going to be happy in a couple of more months when he kicks the bucket, because she's nothing more. She can go out and find a new sugar daddy because she's a gold-digging hoe. I've said it last week. I said it the week before. She doesn't deserve any more consideration than anybody else. And if you think women are too weak to be picked on, then that just shows your love of the patriarchy and how you infantilize women, which is what the right does. They want them pregnant and barefoot in the kitchen. That's what you guys want. And let me tell you something. It's free speech. You don't like Jimmy Kimmel? Great. You don't like Dave Chappelle? Great. Who do you guys got on the right? You got Dennis Miller, that hack of a has-been. The right has no sense of humor. So I'm not going to be sitting here getting lectured by somebody whose party categorically doesn't even understand comedy in the first place. It's protected speech. You don't have to like it. You don't have to listen to it, so shut the fuck up.
I'm not here to judge who's good as a comedian or not.
Clearly you are.
But I'm here, no, I am, when someone attacks a woman.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they attack.
She came from nothing. She's very successful.
She came from nothing.
She's a great guy. Look at the gentleman they made of Baron Trump. Come on.
Have you ever heard him speak?
Yes.
He never says anything. He's a very
intelligent kid.
They should send him to Iran. Listen, they should send him on the first plane to Iran. That's where he deserves to be.
I let you speak.
Go ahead.
Listen, she's a successful woman. She's a successful model. She's a successful businesswoman. She's a great mom. And you could say what you want, dislike her or not. All those things are true. She's a classy dresser. And when someone knocks a woman because he can't get it up, that's Kimmel.
And she'd still be given hand jobs in Romania or wherever the hell she's from.
She's very wealthy on her own. She didn't need Trump.
She wasn't wealthy on her own.
She became, yes, she was.
She became wealthy by polishing an orange knob.
No.
She came here on an Einstein visa. She supposedly speaks six languages. She can barely speak English. Not well.
Anybody. It's like me when I speak Spanish, Portuguese, Albanian.
You got a soft spot in your heart for moose and squirrel, and that's on you, and that's fine. The point is just this. I will say, like I said to Scott Besson, I'll say it to you, Brendan Carr. I will say that I hope to see Melania Trump basking in the glow of her widowness, because it's a joke.
Well,
and if you want to come to my house, you get in the car with Scott Besson and Brendan Carr, bring them to my house. We'll have a party. We'll talk about the First Amendment.
Well,
I can say what I want.
So can I.
And I know that there's limits.
So Kimmel and his wife, when they want to have sex,
great.
I'll send the video over Trump in his underwear.
I'll tell you what.
So maybe they can get it off.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to send Brendan Carr. I'm going to send Brendan Carr to your house to tell you can't say that.
I know. I'm just saying the guy's
You're allowed to say it. It's funny.
They don't stop.
It's funny. What you just said is funny.
There's something mentally wrong with him.
What's wrong with you guys?
It's not funny.
It is funny. It is funny.
It was a little bit funny. His ratings suck for a reason.
You guys like to say his ratings suck, but it's not true.
He doesn't do any numbers at all.
He does all the numbers. That's why he still has the job.
He can't sell out a crowd nowhere.
Please, man. Like all the rallies that your guys had recently where 10 people show up.
Come on, they got millions.
Nah, they don't.
President Trump is known for his rallies.
It's fantasy. It's fantasy. Listen, we're not gonna solve this one because clearly this un-American crap
I'm gonna wrap it up. And let me say before we finish this, Kimmel, I'll send the video of Trump to you so you can get off.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
And we're back with the hottest political podcast, Left vs. Right, my good friend John Alite here. This segment, we're going to be talking about these draconian, and if we're being honest, frankly, very un-American new visa rules that they're using to screen out refugees. This is a country that was founded on immigrants and
immigrants that love the country.
Immigrants that give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Okay, what they're saying now is they're going to look through your social media history and they're going to do some research on you. And if you've ever said anything that doesn't align with the current administration's politics, they're going to deny you. What they're asking you is, if you come here to visit, are you afraid at the end of your visa to return to your country? And if you say yes, they're going to automatically deny you because they don't want any more refugees. They don't want to help anybody out anymore.
Well, I don't agree with that completely.
That's what they're doing.
Here's the problem. If you come to America and say, I hate America, but I'm coming and I'm going to burn that flag, you shouldn't come here. Shouldn't be allowed here. If you come here and say, you believe what you believe personally, your belief in a political system, no different than my belief on the other side, you should still come here as long as you love America. But when you're talking that you're anti-America, you're talking about burning our flag, you're flying the flag of wherever, whether it's Russia, China, and not American flag, and you're burning it, or you're talking against assimilating to our country and our ways, whether your belief is your way or my way, but also it should be the American way.
Well,
I don't want them here.
I will say this. I don't think there are too many people trying to come here as refugees that are fleeing political turmoil and violence in their own countries are coming here because they hate America. They're coming here because they see America as a place where they can, have a start and not be oppressed anymore. Nobody's coming here on a visa to burn the American flag.
But Tony, tell me this, and you answer this honestly. You got these sanctuary cities, whether it's Boston, whether it's New York, whether it's California, and you got these guys, and I'm not saying everybody, the criminals that are out in and out of jail 20-something times, 18 times, raped a child, molested a kid.
Should not be allowed in.
So, no, but once they're arrested, why are they protecting them? Why are these sanctuary cities protect them to go out, possibly kill, rape, destroy an American family?
First of all, that's a canard, the whole idea of sanctuary cities. Cities that are in blue states are typically have more empathy, which is something that the right lacks. We understand that people come to this shining city on a hill, like Reagan said. They're drawn here for liberty and freedom of expression. And I'll tell you something, dissent and speaking out against the iniquities of the American government is the ultimate in American patriotism. So if these people come here, and to your point, they want to work and pay taxes and follow the laws, if they are anti-Trump or anti-Biden or whoever the current president is, that's their right as a would-be American and even as a visitor.
But why would we take them in if they don't like our presidents?
They don't.
Whether it is Biden or Trump, why take them in?
They're coming here because of the promise of America. The presidency
So if they
is not
say
America.
they love America.
If they love America, they're welcome here.
Well,
And
but when
even-
they out and out
and
say they
even
want
if-
to come in and undermine America, and they're saying
Nobody's coming
everything
here
they're
to
saying
under-
is anti-American, or they don't want to, or they don't want to assimilate to our ways.
Listen,
they want to change.
I know
this
you're a
country.
world traveler, okay? I know that
Yes.
you traveled the world. And I know that you have a lot of antipathy for China for economic reasons and other reasons, and I'm not going to debate that with you. But would you go to visit China on vacation?
I might as an
Go see the Great Wall.
Yeah, but I
go
wouldn't
have
talk
Shanghai.
against China
But
being there.
you have. You're on camera today saying
In
that the
America.
in America, right?
But I wouldn't go
should the-
there and
but
challenge
should the
them.
Chinese government not let you come and be a tourist because of what you said on TV?
To visit or to
visit.
stay is a big
to
difference.
visit. Well, a visa is a visiting visa.
I'm going to tell you
a
something.
visa is
I'll
to
tell
visit.
you this much: if I went to China and burned their flag, I guarantee I'll be in jail. If you went to Russia and,
And you know
burned their
why?
flag,
And you know
guarantee
why?
you went to jail.
Because
In
they're
America,
not,
they get away with
yeah,
it.
but you know why? Because we're a free people. That's what makes America great. We're allowed
So
to
then
burn
why-
the flag.
so-
You don't have to like
So
it.
why do these people come here to enjoy our liberties and yet disgrace our flag?
I think we're losing.
And our
I
veterans.
think we're losing a little of a distinction here. What we're talking about is being denied a visa to visit if it's determined by the government that they don't want to leave. Nobody's coming here that hates it, that doesn't want to leave. They're coming here because they want to live here.
Let me ask you another question. Say there's 50,000 illegals right now here. Why shouldn't they walk into an immigration office if they have no criminal background? They work. They're not out selling drugs. They're not involved with gangs and register yourself.
They do.
Okay,
And you know what?
right.
The Trump administration is throwing those people out with no criminal record. They're throwing out people that have green cards.
Well,
they're
came
throwing
in-
out anybody with brown skin. You know who they're not going after? They're not going after Russian immigrants in Brighton Beach. They're not going after Irish immigrants in Boston because they're why? Because they're white. That's the only.
Nah.
That's the only
Sorry, I'm
criteria.
not buying that.
We don't have to buy it. It's the only criteria for these cretinous.
Listen, I'm Albanian.
Bigoted.
And
You're
they threw
white.
out a lot of Albanians.
No, they didn't.
They don't let a lot
No,
of
they didn't.
Albanians
You're
in.
here.
My family's
You're here.
trying
You
to get
hold
in.
public office here.
My whole family's been trying to get in. They can't get in. So should I tell them
If
to come
they follow,
illegally?
if they follow the rules like
You can't tell them
everybody
to
else.
come illegally. It's not the way.
All I'm saying is
not the right way.
they shouldn't be looking at people's past statement. We've all said things in the past that maybe we don't believe anymore, or we regret having
Listen,
said, or even if we did.
yeah.
You know what? I'll bring it back to like same with the Middle East. I would love to go visit Egypt. I would love to go visit.
Do you like steak?
I love steak.
You like chicken?
I like chicken.
What don't you like?
I don't know. I guess I don't
What-
like.
what
I don't. You
food
know what?
don't you
I
like?
don't like liver and sweet
Okay,
breads.
liver.
I don't do like
Now,
innards,
if you,
entrails.
since you don't like liver, should I not be your friend? This is what's going on in this country. And this is
You're
why
proving my
I
point.
argue with people in my own country and tell them, because they tell me, oh, I like you until they disagree with me. So should I tell them, well, change this is about yourself, and then I like you again? That's not being free-willed.
Let me ask.
So
let
that's
me ask you
people on the
something.
left that are saying that.
Let me ask you something. Is it possible in your mind to love your country but be ashamed of your government?
Yes.
If you're ashamed of your government, does that
I'm
mean?
ashamed
does
of a
that
lot
mean-
of our Democratic
Fine.
leaders. Forget
fine,
about
fine.
Republicans.
Even
and a lot of the Republicans.
Even if all you are disappointed is the Democrats, I'll even concede
No,
you that point.
there's
But let me ask
Republicans I
you
don't like
something.
either.
Let me ask you
John
something.
Thune I don't
Fine,
like.
Fine, but my point is this.
He's a sellout.
My point is this. If you can hold the thought in your head that you can love your country but have antipathy for your government, that's the same thing as asking people coming here looking to possibly immigrate here saying, well, you can't come here because you hate America because you hate the government. It's not the same.
Okay, but
it's not the same.
how about after during the war, Hamas, Palestine? You got Palestinians, and I got some that are friends. Some of them are good people. Some of them are going to New York City and burning an American flag. No, I'm not okay with
They
that.
can burn an American flag.
I'm
That doesn't
not,
bother
I'm
me.
not.
You know why?
You
Because
burn the American flag,
America-
then get out.
America is not a
If you're
flag.
Palestinian, you should be proud of your country. But
Let me tell you, at the end of
but
World
don't
War,
burn an American flag.
At the
Then
end
you
of
shouldn't
World
be
War,
here.
at the end of World War II, this country accepted wave after wave of Jewish refugees from Eastern Europe and all over that were displaced by the Holocaust, and most of those people were very, very left in their politics. They were
Jews are known to be
socialists.
left.
They were
Yes.
socialists. They were labor unionists.
You know what's funny? I got
should we have
Albanians-
not? Should we have not let
I
them
got
in?
Albanians that
Should
hate
we have turned
Jews.
them away at the border?
No.
Should we have turned them
and
away?
we got Albanians that are Jews that don't know the history of Albania. During the Holocaust, we hid the Jews and protected them. There's museums there. But yet when I talk pro-Israel, they attack me. I laugh at them. I said, first, you don't know your history. Second, don't ever tell me how to think. I'll think the way I want.
So what about...
I'm not one of them that are weak, that I need to follow 200 people.
Let me ask you another
I
hypothetical.
make my decisions by me. That's what made me
Let me
know.
ask you another hypothetical. If we had a president that was not super pro-Israel, right, that wanted to cut back
But that's his
on...
opinion. Again, being American, forget it as a president. Just like you could be anti-Israel. I'm still your friend. We don't got to agree on everything.
Well, would you throw me out of the country if we didn't see eye to
Well,
eye?
if you burnt the flag,
If I burned the flag, you wouldn't be my friend anymore.
I wouldn't like it.
Would it bother you to learn that
we got veterans that lost their lives
at age 16
for this country?
At age 16, I closed down the George Washington Bridge with a group of protesters protesting against the death squads in El Salvador. That the Reagan administration was sending death squads into El Salvador. Okay,
I'm not in agreement with a lot of this,
and we burned a flag not because we hate America, because this was our way of registering our discontent with what our government was doing. If you guys just want to kiss the ass of the government and say that means being American,
anybody that does that, let me wrap it up here. Anybody does that without flag, go try another country.
That's why we live here and not in another country. Because in another country, you don't have the right to express yourself.
But
you don't want to live in China because they'll put you in jail. No,
but Tony, there's so many Americans that fought for this country. Kiss my ass.
Kiss my ass. That's all the time we have in this segment. We'll catch up to you after the break. And we're back. This next segment, John, this is going to be a barn burner here. We're talking today. We're going to put Apple computers, the company Apple, in the crosshairs here. Is it union busting or is it just the way business is done? I guess evidently Apple had a store somewhere in the country that fought tooth and nail to unionize this one outlet of the store. It was a huge battle, but they got it together. They unionized this store, and then what did Apple do? Instead of respecting the free market like capitalists are supposed to do, they just shuttered that store and put all those people out of work because they just could not abide allowing American workers, the mighty American working man, to have the right for collective bargaining to improve his lot. For a company that makes hundreds of billions of dollars a year, going to shut down the one unionized store.
Well, because first off, I'm not for the capitalist America, but we are. Without the capitalist America, we wouldn't succeed. So I do understand it, but I'm also against the left liberal. They'll destroy America. They'll destroy our free enterprises. So it's a catch-22. And it's like people like Trump that are morally. I knew you were going to
burst into flames.
I just got to.
Trump and morality, that's not in the same sentence.
Well,
man.
This is how they survive. I'm not for the Apple CEOs that are making hundreds. The millions and millions they're making, they're not giving it to the worker. So I'm against that. But I know the mob mentality. Look at Jimmy Hoffa. Look what he did to the unions. They don't care about the working people.
This is what happens.
They want to get rich.
This is what happens when greed and organized crime infiltrate public systems and union systems. I will say this. When America was at the peak of its economic might and when the wealth distribution in this country was the most equitable was in the 1950s and 60s up until the 70s when union membership was at its peak. The American worker deserves collective bargaining. What we're seeing today is union membership at near the bottom in terms of and supporting union busters. You support union busters. The union helps the working man get a better shot out of it. Otherwise, Tim Cook gets all the money, and the workers get ugats at the end of the day.
Well, the problem, like I said, is I'm not for union busters, but when you turn around and you get guys like Jimmy Hoffa or anybody else that I know, these guys are exploiting the regular worker who's not getting the pay.
We should root
They're
out.
getting the pay. They act like they care about unions, and they don't.
We should root out the bad actors.
They're just self-serving.
I don't disagree, but you have to have unions in this country because right now 1% holds everything, and the 99% is struggling, especially now that Trump's war has jacked the price of everything through the roof. You know,
I knew you were gonna go to Trump
a family of four used to have one person working,
You know what the
and they would
problem
have
is?
vacation.
Our
and they would
government
have,
in total is corrupt. And years ago, they became the mafia. And people say, well, the mafia kills and the government doesn't. And I go, who's naive now?
Yeah,
I says,
Godfather.
because
Who's
we have-
naive now,
yeah.
Kay?
So exactly. So
Senators
the
don't have
problem
people
is
killed.
our government now gets away with RICO, which they put mobsters away, but look at the money they're stealing. Look at the money that's being thrown away. And the little people are suffering.
Union is a great way to combat that. You know, you look at different voting blocks. You know, like people make a big deal about the Hasidic Jews that live nearby where we filmed this show.
1% is smarter than anyone.
Which incidentally, we're filming today from the fantastic Fence Road Farm Brewery in Warwick, New York. I'll slide that in there. But down the road here, you have the Satmar Jewish community where, you know, they vote as a block, right? And so they wield great influence in getting things done in the local government. This is what a union is. It provides.
I love Hasidics, so
I don't have any problem with the Hasidics. Their religion sucks, like all religion sucks.
Well, I
but
can
you know
agree
what?
with you on
they're,
that.
They're the envy.
But they're very smart businessmen.
They're enviable because they vote as a block. And unions provide a way for Americans to band together and to join their votes in a way that helps advance their rights and their needs. Big business has to make a profit. I don't deny that. I'm a capitalist as well. But there needs to be some socialism to temper. If all you have is capitalism and no socialism, you're bound to fail. If all you have is socialism and no capitalism, it's bound to fail.
Do you see what he makes? I think it's like $40 million a year. Now, how can you tell me the unions are working when he's stealing three-quarters of the money and not giving it to the everyday workers?
Because Republican governance has decimated union membership. When the unions were strong, he was making 40 times what his average worker makes. Today, he makes 400 times what the average worker makes. And you know what?
There's going to be an overhaul of that. I agree with.
He's taxed at 15% on his investment portfolio. But the worker who doesn't have an investment portfolio is taxed 33% on the sweat of his ass.
Yeah.
Okay? So I will tell you, like Elon Musk, fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit. He sucks.
But he was on your side. As soon as he switched sides, nobody likes him.
He was never on my side.
He was on the left. He was a Democrat for a while. But I'm going to tell you, your party went all the way to socialism. And here's where I have a problem. And especially now because you got guys like Mamdani now is begging for money. So they start off as socialists, and then it quickly goes because he's from a rich family too.
This is the problem with you guys, is you conflate a kernel of truth into this giant
Was Mamdani
lie.
a socialist?
Mamdani is a democratic socialist. Okay?
And where's he going? What did he do to the economy?
He's not a communist.
In New York, he's not even here a year. He's destroyed it.
He hasn't. The economy in New York is just fine.
He walks around with 27 armed guards with him. And then he tells you about socialism. You know what it's costing us for all those armed guards? Let him bring some social workers with him.
This is scare tactic. You know what he did? He is increasing taxes on people that have vacation homes in New York City. You can't be against that.
Where are they moving to?
Who the hell cares?
Because he ain't going to get their money. They're going to leave.
No, they're not.
And it's going to go on the sweat of the regular worker.
That's always the threat. Oh, the rich are going to pack up and go home. Let me tell you something. The rich don't have anything without the poor. You think
we got to wrap it up, and I'm going to tell you, no matter what you say, we're not going to hear it today. Next segment. And we're back. Wife choice or control? You tell me. I think listen, a woman have the right. They're not being oppressed because they want to be home with the children and cooking and cleaning. That's their choice.
Listen, in today's world, with how hard it is to get by on one salary, it's almost taken as a given that both the man and the woman, or the man and the man, whatever the pair is, that both spouses have to get out and work. What this is about to me is, I've seen, I don't know if you've seen this, the rise of what they call wife school. It's not really school, but it's like courses given by these right-wing influencers that promote this trad wife. The notion that, the Bible says that the men go out and work and the women stay home and do the laundry and clean the children.
But it's freedom of speech. Why shouldn't they be able to say that, or promote it, or push it, or a woman? Why not? This is America. Do whatever you want.
That's not what you were saying in the last segment, but I'll give it to you. They should be allowed to say that. You were saying, well, if a comedian said it, you said they shouldn't say it. But the point is this: yes, it is a choice.
I don't know.
But I think it's moving humanity backward. Men and women. Do you believe that men and women are equal?
Yeah.
And if the woman doesn't want to,
I mean, I think once in a while you got to slap them around a little bit just to keep them in line. No, listen.
Come on.
I love an independent woman, somebody who's intelligent. But an intelligent woman does make her own choice. She wants to go to church. She wants to be home with her kids. She wants to be involved as a keeper, as a husband's keeper. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what she chooses.
Yeah, but how many women do you know that don't want to have some semblance of a career, that don't want to stay home all day? Should the women just automatically be the cooks and the house cleaners?
If they're in a thong and high heels, yeah.
Jeez, man. This is the knuckle-dragging shit that I got to put up with here. At the end of the day, this is a bad cultural trend. This is taking, these people believe that feminism was a mistake, that women shouldn't have an equal stake. It's their right, if they believe it, to believe it. And if that's the circumscribed life that these women want to live, I guess that's their choice. But we certainly shouldn't be holding this up as a paragon of virtue. This is a regressive, an oppressive step
So are you for a woman to have their own freedom?
Absolutely.
So then why is it in women's sports that you're okay with?
Oh, here we go.
Because you can't take their freedom only in sections.
Right.
Women should have their freedom just like men should. Yeah. Just like anybody else, whatever they believe they are, should have their section.
So 2 or 3 adolescent children with gender dysmorphia playing soccer, that's your counter argument to
this?
It's
not soccer. What I'm worried about is physical sports.
Yeah, football,
where
soccer,
a biological woman can get hurt.
The whole thing is a
if she's
canard.
wrestling
It doesn't even happen.
A guy who's not biological woman or boxing.
This is deflecting.
You're going to hurt him.
This is deflecting.
And I'm talking about safety now.
We're talking about safety. Where's the safety in raising your daughters to not go for the gold? Raising your daughters not to want to be doctors and astronauts and physicists, to say, no, sweetie, the boys are going to go out and do boy stuff, but you're going to stay home and darn the socks.
It's the woman's choice.
It is, but not really, because in these
nobody's forcing them.
But they kind of are.
Wow.
They kind of are. Because
I'm going to go back to Iran. That you guys
well, that's the same thing.
Iran,
this is why
they're not even allowed to show their hair. They're not allowed to sing. They're not allowed to drive a car. Or they get beat.
It's the same thing. And if you don't think that right-wing men beat the shit out of their women regularly...
But real men don't do diapers either.
Well, real men do. I did diapers. I do laundry.
So did I, actually.
So
maybe I'm not a real man.
Look, we can't say that submission is the same as equality. We can't say that, this is the natural reaction to progress. We all have to, we evolve as a species.
But there's so much, back and forth. That's not the right word. In other words, if I said today,
debate.
like a woman say, debate. I say, starting today, I'm a king. You need to bow to me. Are you going to bow to me?
No.
Of course not. No. So why do people got to buy into what somebody else thinks?
Well, because
this is my thought process. All of a sudden I'm a king?
Because these guys are sending their wives to wife school. That's why.
Well, the women that want to go, I guess that's their choice. But, if it's a strong-willed woman, she's not going.
Why does the right want their women to be submissive, like Melania Trump? Stay in the back. Don't say too much. Look pretty. But don't be a real woman.
I knew you had to go back to Melania.
Because she's so fake. I don't understand how you're so blind to it.
Because she's a classy woman.
Hoe. Where's my T-shirt, Mr. Producer Man? Gold brick and hoe.
I'm going to get a video
for this show.
I'm going to send it to Kimmel
get coffee mugs,
and his wife,
gold brick
so they
and
can
hoe.
have sex thinking about Melania and Trump.
Listen, at the end of the day, everybody has their own agency, right? It's supposedly a free country. We're supposed to have, but from the party that takes away women's right to choose and rolls back Roe versus Wade, just this week the Supreme Court did away with mail-order mifepristone for abortifacient drugs to be mailed through the mail, even into states where abortion is still legal. For a party that really works on subverting women's rights,
I agree with that.
Then how can you stand there and say that this is okay?
No, I agree with they should slow that down because you can't just abort at will.
I'll tell you what. How about men's school? How about we have a school where we send men to learn to put the seat back down and learn how to open the door.
Listen, I don't mind going to dinner and tell the woman at equal rights you can pay.
Yeah,
No,
you know what?
I'm
I kind of agree with
Yeah,
that too.
I can't do that.
Listen, I guess we found a little bit of common ground here, which is
Yeah.
what we like to do at the
Yeah.
end of these shows to find, to finally.
Honestly, yeah, people don't know. People ask me all the time about our friendship, and I'm telling them the good thing about our friendship is
that at
we're
the end of
bringing
the-
it back to years ago where we could disagree and be
Absolutely.
friends.
And like Maya Angelou said, we are more similar than we are different.
Yeah, I might think you're
know.
crazy, but you're still my
And I
friend.
might think that you're an asshole, but it's all good, dude.
See you next
We'll see you
week.
next time.